Okay, so over the last few months I've been propagating different plants, and these are Java ferns, and as you can see I've done this from one leaf. I've just stuck it in the clay pebbles and it's producing lots of babies. There's lots of different ones, so this one's actually a chunk of it, this one is a couple of stems, there's another one there. All of these anyway, they're all different, well they're mostly Java plants. There's a bit of bulbitis as well, and I've been propagating them by just sticking them in the gravel media, and then I've had a light above and I've been spraying them with water, and they're in a very humid tub. Anyway, I'm actually, because I've got my fish up in my polytunnel now, I'm actually going to take some of these up to the polytunnel. So I'm going to take that one out there. That one there is just a couple of leaves, and I'll take the clay pebbles off, and then I'll put it into the fish tank, which is a pond up in the polytunnel. There we go, and I'm going to take that one, put it in a bag. I'll take just certain ones, so this one's quite a good one. It's got like a, I'm going to actually leave some, I'll shake it like that, whatever falls off, whatever stays on, and that way I'll have something to drop it down and sink it into the water. This one here again, quite a nice size one. Shake off what falls off and what doesn't, goes in the bag as well. And this is kind of why I propagated them, because I knew that in the summertime I'd have fish in ponds in the polytunnel. So here we go, and again that they've propagated ever so well. They're only like one or two leaves, and now they're actually a stem of them, which is fantastic. Another one there, good one. And again, it's got a few clay pebbles on, goes in the bag. So all the ones, this one's just a leaf, and it's produced lots of youngsters, lots of small plants again. There's two bits of bulbitis. Oh no, that was not. That's actually a bit of the Java fern. There's a little tiny one there, but again, it's only like one or two leaves to start off with. Good one there. So this is all fantastic, and this will all grow really well up in the polytunnel in the fish ponds up there. I've done all different sorts of plants, but this seems to be a good method of doing it, of propagating. So again, another one there, another one, big leaf there that's just, again, it's got lots of babies on it, it's produced a lot of babies. And leave some of them in there that need to keep going. And then there's some other plants as well. And yeah, I'm gonna perhaps pop some back. Now that one there is bulbitis. Looks like Java fern, but it is a bulbitis, so I'll pop that in as well. We'll have that. And these other ones I'm going to leave in the tub, and they can carry on growing on. And I'm going to take that bag of Java fern and bulbitis with me to the polytunnel. I hope everyone's well, cheers. So this is another tub, and I did these in a different way again. So I did these ones in compost. I should probably make this into one big video. And so they're semi-submerged plants in compost, and there's all different sorts, and they've all seemed to have grown. A lot of them are stem plants, all different ones. But they have rooted very, very, very well. So let's just see if I can pull some out in their roots. Hang on a minute, bear with me. Okay, so I'm just going to take these out, but because they've got roots and they're in soil, I'm going to sort of use them differently, so they're going to go in a different bag. And then when I get up to the polytunnel, I've got some different tubs to put them in. So I've got some like pond plant pots that have got like a mesh sort of bottom to them, so that they can absorb the water and all that sort of thing. But I'm going to try and just pull the plants out carefully, taking up the root as well. That way when I get to the polytunnel, they can go in and they can have their own pots to grow on in. Like this one here, look at that, it's huge. But they'll have its own pot, which is why it's going in its own different bag. There we go. There's another bit there of a similar plant. It's different, that one, hang on. There we go. So again, different plant. And again, another one. That was a good one. That I've snapped a bit off there, but it's all right. And then these ones. Now some of it I want to put back into the fish tank eventually, but I want to also grow things on up in the polytunnel. Just have different plants up there in the ponds so that they can take off and grow on up in the polytunnel. So as I say, I have got some of those pond baskets to put things in, different plants in, and we'll let them grow on. So let's get some more of these out. See, this one's just grown, all its roots have grown into the substrate, which is a compost mix. And there's all different sorts, all different plants. Now, if you've got a fish tank and you're keeping fish, just get a plastic tub and you can try this at home. Very easy to do. Put some compost in the actual tub, about sort of 3 or 4 inches deep, and then just take cuttings off your plants in your fish tank and stick the rooted end or the end that you think will root into the substrate. And then they will produce roots, as these ones have done. And there's all these different ones. This one's got a lovely red foliage on it, look. And they then produce upright standing plants. They have actually got like a clay pebble underneath, but they've got compost on the top. And all of the ones that I've put in here have grown really well. So there's all different sorts. There's even that, look, and that's like chainsaw sage, and that's growing as well, ever so well. Different ones. Huge clump here or something. I can hear the roots ripping as I'm pulling it out, but there we go. So there's that. I'm going to leave the chainsaw sage in. We'll leave some of these smaller bits in and we'll see how it goes. And then later on I'll bring some more out and pull it up and take it up the polytunnel as well. Anyway, propagating plants and moving them on to their new home in the polytunnel ponds. Very well, cheers. So these are the last ones that I did. So these ones I did in a propagation tray. It's a heated propagation tray, and I put the actual plants into their own clay pebble baskets, as they were. So that's them there, and they've grown on ever so well, but they've been above the water, the actual plants. So the roots were sitting in the pots, and the plants were above the water. And I did a couple of Anubias. Now these ones are Queen Anubias, and I just took tiny cuttings off, and they've grown on. They're actually as big as when I first got the original plant, and I've got 2 of them there, and I took 2 tiniest of cuttings off, and they've grown on ever so well in that short amount of time. So it's only been like 2 months, I suppose. There's that one there, and that's an Anubias as well. It's a Nana Petite Anubias, and again it was a tiny piece, and that's grown on really well. This one I can't remember what it's called, but I've got it in the fish tank, and it grows up and out of the water, and look at all the root on it, loads of it. But they're in pots, which is great. And then these 2 are both maidenhair fern again, and they've produced a lot of plants which have grown together. And then there's this last one, I'm not entirely sure what it is, but again it's got a huge root on it, and it's got lots of roots at the bottom. So all of these will go into my ponds in the polytunnel. So I'll have plants in the polytunnel in the ponds like that, and these ones are in soil, those ones are in clay pebbles or in pots. The soil ones will go into baskets where they'll be submerged under the water, and the ones that are in the clay pebbles or in the pots will go directly into the ponds, I should think. I just wanted to bring you along. That's the final bit of this. If you want to propagate plants, put them into different methods of doing it. Let me just show you. So the different methods that I did were like a little greenhouse like this, tubs that got compost and clay pebbles underneath, and they grew. I'll probably do some more because they've done so well, and then clay pebbles that are just submerged into water like that. And I've got 2 carrier bags of plants. I've still got some left in there as well, but I've got 2 carrier bags of plants that I've grown and propagated. I've also got one down there, and it's got moss in it, but the moss isn't quite ready yet. I didn't really overwater it enough, I don't think. So everything else is going well. I'm going to take everything up to the polytunnel. Cheers. So these are my plants that I've propagated at home in soil, in compost. And I think it was John Innings number 1 or 2, which is a mostly loamy type of soil. And as I say, they were propagated in that, and so they're grown on, and now I've put them in the pond up here. I'll probably stick those 2 in as well. They're just I think they're probably a house plant that people sell to you as a fish tank plant, and they produce roots, but they're not brilliant at growing in fish tanks because they're fully submerged under the water, and like I say, they're not fantastic at growing fully submerged. But anyway, I'll pop them in that basket as well, so they've got some soil to grow in, and then as the pond fills up, they'll take root in there, and it'll be a nice pot of different plants to grow in there. Now these other ones I've put in pots, and I've just popped them in also into the barb, paradise and bristlenose catfish pond, and they're going to grow on well. I've also got some more to put in, which I'm going to do so. Okay, so I've finished planting. I've just planted the different plants, the propagated plants from home, into the floating raft bed pond, which is this. And this one's got all the barbs in. It's got 3 ancestris. It's got the paradise fish. There's the pair of paradise fish, and they're together. So the albino one's in front, and then the red one's at the back there. Now I'm hoping that they're a pair anyway, a male and a female. I think that the albino one is the boy, and the red one is the girl. You can see them, they're underneath there. There's the boy, the females are there with him. I'm only guessing that the female is the plumper red one, and the male is the white or the albino one. Anyway, they're looking better, he's looking better, looking much happier in this pond. The shoal of barbs is right down the end there underneath that patch of weed, and the ancestris are somewhere. I have seen them, and so is the red shark, the red-tailed black shark. I've seen that one as well. So they're all doing well in the pond. They've got some hides, so there's some, hang on a minute, just zoom out for you. The clay ones, these ones, are special ancestris hides, and it's for them to breed and lay eggs in. The female lays the eggs, the male comes and fertilizes them, and then the male looks after them once the females laid them and been fertilized. And all the plants are in. There's a basket in the corner there that has all different plants in compost, and then all the rest of them are either in clay pebble pots, or they're in just standing free or tied around rocks and things. Some of them are fully submerged, some of them are not. There's floating plants in here. There's all different things, all different bits and pieces floating. You can see there's the barbs. Just seeing them. There we go, look. There's all the barbs swimming about. And yeah, they'll all do well in this pond. Last year they bred, the barbs bred, and there were absolutely thousands of them, so I'm hoping the same will happen this year. The paradise fish might go into their own pond at some point when I've built another pond. Okay, so this is the barb pond, and these are the plants, propagated plants. The reason that I propagated them was so that I could bring them up to the polytunnel, and they will actually propagate themselves and grow on even more up in these ponds up here, and all the fish will be happy, and with any luck we'll get some to breed. There's the red-tailed black shark as well. Can you see it? It's there somewhere, I've just seen it. Anyway, it is there, and along with all the rest of the fish. There she goes over there. So yeah, there we go. Barbs and propagating plants. Cheers.